Francisco Diego is a lecturer of physics and astronomy at University College London, and he joins us from the UK. Now, most of us will probably be familiar with space debris from the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock, but what are the real-life problems being caused by space junk?
It is becoming a big problem, and I'm glad that this kind of actions are being taking place, probably a little bit late already, but yes, it is good it is happening. It needs to be very strongly regulated. We are dealing with extremely dangerous situation for astronauts, especially in the low Earth orbit, where the space stations are, and where the future human activities are going to be more and more active to develop bigger space stations from where we can launch rockets to the moon and rockets to Mars, etc. So it's going to be a very crowded area and very dangerous. Every time there is a collision, we have seen several of them. We have a collision, we generate millions, literally millions of pieces that go on all kinds of orbits and untrackable because they are very small, but they are bullets at thousands of kilometers per second. They are very fast and they can produce damage, very severe damage. So yes, it is good that this is happening now, and it should be enforced even more strongly, I think.
Do you think this fine, it seems like a big fine, but do you think it's enough to really encourage companies and states to clean up their act?
Well, when it comes to a fine and money, I mean, these people can pay the money and still carry on with the situation. They still get good business. So it has to be enforced in a more regulated way, something like the Outer Space Treaty, which of course operates in the higher orbits, but now in the lower orbit, we really need to have very strong regulation. Once we have many other players from space agencies and from industry, for example, the SpaceX company that has launched literally thousands and thousands of satellites, this has to be regulated because we really need to approve the need of a particular kind of satellite. They have to go through a series of steps. I'm afraid it has to be very bureaucratic, but it has to be like that to get an approval for a launch. And then in that context, we have to have regulations to get rid of the objects that are into space. Once they have finished their mission, they have to deorbit and burn in the atmosphere. This is the thing to do, and it has to be very strongly regulated, I repeat.
And Francisco, once junk is floating about in space, is there any way of capturing it, or it's just there forever?
Yes, it can be captured. There are several ways of doing that. They have nets and they have magnetic systems. We have lasers. You can vaporize them with a laser. But the very tiny ones, there are millions of them. You cannot get rid of them. You cannot have this kind of cosmic vacuum cleaner to get rid of them. It's not possible. It's not technically possible. You can get rid of the big ones, but you know where they are. You can slow them down in a way with lasers. You can deorbit them in a way. There was a project about that. But the very tiny ones is going to be almost impossible. This is the need of, this is why we need this regulation. It's probably too late because those millions of pieces are already there.
Francisco Diego in London, thank you very much for that fascinating stuff.